Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Toolbox Tuesday. If this is the first time you're joining me, my name is Shannon Donohoe-Simpson. So what if instead of asking, what if this goes wrong, we started asking, how good could it go? I have a story that I want to share with you. For a long time, I have been tethered to my ex-husband's phone plan. And I have had many stories in my head about how, well, he has a really good rate because he has it through the work plan. And if I go off his phone plan, it's going to cost me a lot more money and it's going to be a pain in the butt and all the things. So I decided, because the contract is coming to an end, that I needed to make some changes. So I kept thinking that also the other part of this was that in order to get my phone plan, I had to pay $800. This is what my ex-husband told me, in order to own my phone. So I decided that I couldn't avoid this anymore, and I went to Rogers yesterday. And I had this story that it wasn't going to work out. So I arrive at Rogers, and the first thing he tells me is that I actually only owe $411. So I was like, okay, well, we're off to a good start here. That's half of 800. So this is really good. And then he said that I can offer you a $50 a month for Fido. And I was like, okay. And he goes, and that's with 40 gigs of data. And he goes, you only are using 30 gigs of data. So 40 should be more than enough. And then, of course, the next line is, and this is the offer for today. And so I was feeling a little bit pressured, like I needed to make a decision now. But my intuition was like, no, I don't need to make a decision right now. I don't want to make a decision out of fear or out of pressure. And I got this download in that minute where I remember not one, but two girlfriends telling me that they've gone to Costco and the phone plans at Costco are pretty reasonable. So I drove straight to Costco and I meet Josh. And Josh isn't just your regular cell phone guy at Costco. I'm going to call him Magic Josh. So he works his magic, and next thing he says to me is, how about $29 per month? And I'm like, what? $29 per month? And he says, yeah. He's like, and I can offer you 30 gigs of data. And I said, well, I was told that I'm using 30 gigs of data. And he looks into the plan and he says, no. He says, the 3 people on your plan are using 30 gigs of data. So that should be more than enough. So I actually said out loud, this is magic. And he says, well, I've been called Magic Josh before, but not Magic Johnson. So anyways, I had a good laugh. So, but then it even gets better. He says, well, there's a $75 activation fee, but how about I return that $75 activation fee to you, and then your cell phone plan will only be $24 per month, because I'll do it in $5 increments for each month. And I was like, okay. But then it gets even better. He says to me, here's a $100 gift card to Costco. And I was like, amazing. So last week I was at Costco and there was a mat that I wanted for my front door. And I didn't get it because right now I'm budgeting I'm doing a very good job with my budget. And so it was a need and I didn't need it, so I didn't get it. And then, so I decided, well, I'm going to go get that mat. And then I go, and I've been wanting to get a clothing steamer for a very long time. And I was like, well, I got a free $100. So I was like, sweet. So I went and I grabbed my mat. I grabbed my clothing steamer, headed to the till. There's still money left on my free $100 at Costco. And I got a new phone for $24 a month. So how amazing is this? Again, like, how good could it go? You know, I still need to pay off my phone, my $411, but I'm free from my old plan, and I'm free from my ex-husband, and it's me. I'm taking care of me. I'm doing the things to take care of me. It's so amazing. So I tell this story to you because I think you need to hear this. And if I need to hear it, everyone else needs to hear it. That we tell ourselves these stories all the time, that maybe it's going to be really hard and we worry and it's not going to work out. But remember, like Buddha says, be careful what you think, because your thoughts create your reality. So what if instead of the worrying and the catastrophizing, we could create something amazing? So here's my invitation to you this week. Instead of asking what could go wrong, what about asking how good could it go? You could write this in a journal, you could whisper it in the mirror, or you could say, when fear starts to rise, how good could it go? Because sometimes the universe shows up with more than what we ask for, but we have to believe it's possible first. Just like in November, when I told my daughter to come over in the morning and we got on a ferry and I told her that we were going to go to Taylor Swift and get tickets and sit in the front of the stage, and no one believed me, but I knew that I could make it happen, and I did. So again, how good could it go? So where are you still believing an old story out of fear? And what's one small step you could take this week to challenge that belief? And what if it turns out even better than you imagined? So here's your mantra for the week and moving forward. How good could it go? Try it. Live it. You're going to love the results. If my words resonated with you today, please share this with someone that you care about. Thank you for joining me live today. And please go to my website to wholehealthfamilywellness.ca to learn more about how you could work with me as a transformational coach and hire me in your next speaking gig or workshop. I'm sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday, everybody. See you next week.